10 amazing actors who almost died filming a movie. Do you think being an actor is just red carpets and glamour? You're wrong. Many put their lives at risk when stepping on set. Get ready to see shocking scenes that could have meant the end of these stars. Number 1. Johnny Depp. It's very likely that if you shoot scenes like this, at some point, you'll have some near-death experience. And when it comes to recreating a real adventure, who better than Johnny Depp? He almost saw the end of his days when he played the Native American Tonto in The Lone Ranger. This happened while filming a scene in the desert with his partner, Armie Hammer. Both were riding for several hours at top speed, and since the goal was to achieve an effective bareback riding, Johnny's saddle wasn't properly tightened. Suddenly, his horse jumped to avoid some bumps in the road and caused the actor to fall violently.
I went to the saddle slipped, and I went to the left and had the reins here.
Johnny managed to grab the reins and the horse's mane to hold on as best as he could. But in a quick decision, he chose to let go of the beast before it kept dragging him on. Luckily, the horse instinctively dodged him, barely clipping Johnny with its back legs. If it had run over him, he'd undoubtedly have sustained fatal injuries. Number 2. Tom Cruise. When it comes to actors who risk their lives when filming a movie, Tom Cruise has made a name for himself. Throughout his career, the actor has suffered not one, but over a dozen incidents that could have killed him in the middle of a shoot. Remember this? Or this? Well, these are genuine scenes where Tom really risked his life. But among them all, there's one that almost sent him to the afterlife. He was filming The Last Samurai when, in a fight scene, his co-star Hiroyuki Sanada nearly beheaded him. The two men were approaching one another on mechanical horses, which were supposed to stop just as they were about to swing their swords. But a fault caused them to collide, and the sharp blade came within an inch of cutting Cruise's neck. Thank goodness his partner was a martial arts expert and was able to dodge him. Number 3. Jason Statham. Not even a tough guy like Jason Statham is safe from suffering an accident that has put him on the brink of death. In fact, that's the reason why he nearly drowned in 2013 while filming The Expendables 3, since, at first, the recalled transporter didn't want to use a stunt double to shoot a scene he considered simple. What was it? Just jumping a huge distance from a waterfall to a man-made lake, no big deal. Statham performed the stunt but didn't surface and began to sink, so several crew members jumped into the water to pull him out. The actor even ended up semi-conscious. Fortunately, he was immediately taken to a hospital, where he was discharged after several hours under medical observation. Well, it seems that he wasn't so tough. Number 4. Sylvester Stallone. Have you ever wondered why when you saw Rocky IV, the pain on your favorite boxer seemed so real? It's because the actors really beat each other brutally to film these scenes. And it's one of these powerful right blows that threatens Sylvester Stallone's life to the point of sending him to the hospital for several days. He was shooting the thrilling fight with the evil Ivan Drago. So he asked Dolph Lundgren, the actor who plays him, to hit him as hard as possible. Lundgren agreed and aimed straight for his chest. However, a good shot wasn't all he got. Due to the strike, Sylvester's heart slammed against his breastbone and began to swell, so his beating became labored. It was so severe that the megastar had to remain in intensive care for over a week, but finally managed to recover and continue filming. The Italian stallion almost didn't survive. Number 5. Uma Thurman. For a director and an actress to end on bad terms, something extremely serious must have taken place on set. That's what happened to the famous Uma Thurman when shooting the second part of the legendary Kill Bill trilogy. She nearly died in a terrible car accident, which she blamed directly on Quentin Tarantino. What? The renowned American filmmaker? Turns out, for the sake of realism, the director insisted that Thurman drive a stunt car even though she asked for a double. She finally made the shot, the car crashed into a tree, and she was badly injured to the point she thought she'd never walk again. But although it was quite a scare, they both had a major fight and their relationship was never the same again. Well, it's no surprise if you consider that Tarantino often goes to extremes. In this other scene from Inglourious Basterds, you can see the hands of Tarantino himself choking the protagonist with such strength that he really almost killed her. Number 6. George Clooney. No one is safe from being on the brink of death, even in low-risk movies. George Clooney was filming Syriana, a political thriller, when he had a terrible accident that nearly took his life. During the famous torture scene, the actor was tied to a chair while being beaten up. Then the chair was kicked over, causing George to slam his head on the ground and crack his skull open. As it was a critical injury, George received emergency treatment, but the worst was yet to come. After seeing a neurologist, he discovered that he had a 2.5-inch rip in the middle of his back, a 1/2-inch tear in his neck, and was leaking spinal fluid that even came out of his nose. And this isn't the worst part. He even contemplated suicide as he could no longer deal with the pain. Can you imagine? Well, at least he won an Oscar for his performance in this film. Come on, that's not enough consolation, I'd think. Number 7. Tom Hanks. The nicest guy in Hollywood has had to survive the terrible infection of coronavirus in 2020. Thank goodness he and his wife were able to overcome the disease. But did you know he almost died from a staph infection before? This happened while shooting the iconic movie Castaway. Tom suffered a cut on his leg on the set in Fiji, Oceania. He didn't worry much as he thought it was no big deal. However, 2 weeks later, when swelling refused to go down, he realized it was time to visit the doctor. He was shocked when he told him, "I have to put you in the hospital as soon as possible, because you're about an hour away from having blood poisoning that will kill you." It was such a serious issue that filming was halted for 3 weeks while the actor's skin regenerated. Luckily, Hanks received treatment and recovered from the big scare. Number 8. Isla Fisher. Imagine how terrifying it is to jump into a tank full of water where a bunch of piranhas are about to be thrown. Even worse, imagine being trapped there until you drown. Yes, none of Isla Fisher's reaction in this scene from Now You See Me is fake. She truly felt the despair every passing second. The shot consisted of an escape sequence, where the actress had to break out of the chains, like Houdini. To do this, she had to increase the tension by hitting the walls, pretending she was fighting for her life. Just at that moment, there was a technical fault that abruptly turned the scene real. The chain got stuck under a slat.
Was not able to be broken, and it got stuck underneath the slat, and I was trapped.
Ironically, no one realized what was happening, as her colleagues thought it was a great performance. And it wasn't until almost 3 minutes later that someone noticed that the actress was going to collapse. Thank goodness he was able to react in time and ran to press the safety button to release the mechanism. Phew! Number 9. Halle Berry. How much can it cost an actress to do a sexy scene? Well, in this case, even her life. Halle Berry nearly drowned on the set of the film Die Another Day, where she landed a co-star role in the James Bond saga. I know, in a movie like this, you'd expect it to happen while shooting a risky action scene, but no, it happened while filming a sensual moment with Pierce Brosnan in his role as Agent 007.
I was supposed to be all sexy and trying to seduce him with a fig, and then I end up choking on it.
As you heard. Fortunately, her partner reacted quickly and got up to perform the Heimlich maneuver, which saved her. But it wasn't the only time that Halle faced a harrowing situation. On the set of The Call, the actress was shooting a fight scene when she fell and hit her head on the concrete floor. She ended up knocked out and had to be rushed to the hospital. Thankfully, there were no serious injuries. Number 10. Jackie Chan. If you're a fan of Jackie Chan's movies, you probably already know that his spectacular acting is due to the fact that he performs his action scenes without stuntmen, even if these are rather dangerous. There's one time he slid down the glass facade of a 24-story building in Who Am I? In 1985, he even had a close encounter with death when he fell from a tree and fractured his skull while filming Armor of God. But nowadays, the Chinese actor hasn't stopped dealing with scenes that have brought him face-to-face with his death. Recently in 2019, Jackie confessed at a press conference that he was in an accident while shooting Vanguard. He was doing an aquatic scene when he got trapped under some rocks in the water. He also said that at that moment, he felt pretty scared, but was able to remain calm. Fortunately, the production team members managed to rescue him moments later before drowning. A terrifying experience. Well, I must confess that deep down I wanted to become an actor, but after watching this video, I don't want to anymore. Would you film a scene as crazy as this? If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe to TrendMax, and turn on the bell. Here are 2 more videos that might interest you. Until next time.